You must remember what Amalek has done to you, says our Holy Bible. And we do remember, and we are fighting. Our brave troops and combatants who are now in Gaza or around Gaza and in all other regions in Israel are joining this chain of Jewish heroes, a chain that has started 3,000 years ago from Joshua ben Nun until the heroes of 1948, the Six-Day War, the 73 October War, and all other wars in this country. Our hero troops, they have one supreme main goal: to completely defeat the murderous enemy and to guarantee our existence in this country. We've always said, never again. Never again is now.
All right, I want to give all praise, all glory, and honor to the God of Israel, the true Israelites, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai Hashem Rakakodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace, mercy, and grace to the household of faith, which begins with the remnant of the nation of Israel, starting with the 144,000 men from 12,000 men from each tribe to service the prophets. All right, to the rest of the 1/3 men, women, and children of the elect remnant fold, all right, that have all been predestined for salvation and to enter into the kingdom via the first resurrection, all right, also known as the first fruits of the kingdom of heaven, all right, the elect. Lord willing, this be an edifying lesson into the scattered elect that might come across this video. And first, I want to say this video is not an anti-Semitic video. I am not anti-Semitic. I am myself a Semite. I descend from Shem, all right, through the seed of Noah, through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I profess myself to be a Jew, and I'm not in any shape or form encouraging anti-Semitic anything. So what this video is designed to do is respond to some points that I wanted to point out about this prime minister quoting, his recent quoting of scriptures. So anyway, I got motherjones.com, this article, which was written by Noah Leonard, dated November 3rd, 2023. The dangerous history behind Netanyahu's Amalek rhetoric. All right, his recent biblical reference has long been used by the Israeli far right to justify killing Palestinians. All right, that's him right there, the man of the hour. And you saw the video clip. He quoted. I'm gonna read some points in this, but I'm gonna start here. It says there are more. Start here. They are committed to completely eliminating this evil from the world, Netanyahu said in Hebrew. He then added, "You must remember what Amalek has done to you," says our Holy Bible, and we do remember. So he says our Holy Bible. All right, in case you don't know, these people proclaim that the Holy Book is their book. All right, yet they don't do what the Holy Book says do. So let's start here in the book of Psalms in verse 50. In verse 16, let's get this in the NLT. It says, "But God says to the wicked, why bother reciting my decrees and pretending to obey my covenant?" And that's what they're doing. They're pretending, all right, to be the children of the covenant, pretending, reciting the scriptures, right? It says verse 17, "For you refuse my discipline and treat my words like trash." Because here it is, he said one thing, But look at he's a smooth shaven face. In the same Old Testament that you're reading, all right, there's a law in the Torah that goes against the shaving of the face. You know, the Lord never sanctioned having a smooth ass face like an Egyptian, right? So verse 17, for you refuse my discipline, which the law, statutes, and commandments are discipline, and treat my words like trash. Now this verse is speaking about wicked Israel first and foremost, but we can use it to apply to these people today who are in the Holy Land proclaiming to be the children of God, the children of Israel, calling themselves Jews. So, so they're using, he said, our book, our holy book. And he said, we do remember what they did to Amalek. So that's another point I want to address, because what basically he's saying is that the Palestinians are the seed of Amalek, which that's not the case. All right, we believe that the Palestinians are actually Ishmaelites, and that really this guy here is a descendant of Amalek. All right, because of the Amalekites, which are pretty much a tribe that descend from Esau, they're the ones that's pretty much claiming to be the children of the rightful heirs to the Holy Land. They pretty much stolen our identity, And so it's funny how they're using the scripture in 1 Samuel to justify, getting rid of Amalek, because in that chapter, there was a commandment that said where the Most High told Saul to pretty much exterminate the Amalekites, right? 1 Samuel 1:1. Samuel also said unto Saul, Yahweh hath sent me to anoint thee to be the king over his people, over Israel. And therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Lord Yahweh. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in a way when he came up from Egypt. Because the first nation that gave us smoke when we came out of the Egyptian bondage was the Amalekites. It says, now, matter of fact, let's just get that account real quick. That's going to be in Exodus, the 17th chapter, and verse 8 is the point. We'll start at 7. And he called the name of the place Massah and Meribah, because of the chiding of the children of Israel, and because they tempted Yahweh, saying, Is Yahweh not among us or not? Verse 8, then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim. And Mashah said unto Yahushua, or Moses, Joshua, choose us out men and go out and fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand. And when you jump all the way down in verse 13, it says, and Yahushua, or Joshua, discomfited Amalek, because Joshua was Yahushua in the Hebrew. Joshua was a very common name amongst our people. Just like today, Joshua is a real common name amongst people. So it says, and Yahushua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. All right, and it says, and the Lord said unto Mashah, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under the heaven. And you jump down to verse 6, for he said, because the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So the Bible pretty much condemns Amalek. So what these devils are doing, they're using it to say that those people are Amalek, and then they quoting this. All right, it was 1 Samuel 2 and verse 3. It says, now go and smite Amalek. Now, I'm gonna get that in the NLT. It says, now go and completely destroy the entire Amalekite nation. Men, women, children, babies, cattle, sheep, goats, camels, and donkeys. So they're using that to justify doing what they're doing to them. You see, that's why it's all on the news, babies and, women and everybody catching it, because they're saying that these are the Amalekites. And our God in the Bible told us to go get rid of them. And so a Christian, another point I want to mention, where the Christians at? Because anytime we pull out something from the Old Testament, what does a Christian say? That's the Old Testament. That's the Old Testament. Jesus came. Now it's all love. When this same devil right here was on stage saying that, he was quoting Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, verse 8, which is also in the Old Testament, where it says that this is a time of war and not peace. This is what he said. And this is a man who's claiming to be a Jew, right? So, You Christians need to say something. Where y'all at? Y'all need to tell him that this is the Old Testament and that, the Lord came and loved everybody, and it ain't supposed to be no war right now. Because according to him, we in a time of war, which he's absolutely right. All right, because the Most High is still gonna make war with Amalek and send his son to make war with these nations when he come back. The hell with these folks talking about. So the Amalek reference is one of many comments by Israeli leaders that serve to help justify a devastating response to the brutal Hamas attack on October 7th. And I'm going to scroll down. A member of the Knesset has called for a second Nakba in reference to the expulsion of Palestinians that Israel carried out in its 1948 war with Arab neighbors. And this is the year when these people pretty much established what they call the Jewish Israeli state in 1948, which that didn't fulfill the prophecies. It's prophesied that the Jews, and the rest of the tribes would go home, but they would be gathered and they would go home, all right, with the Messiah. King David would be here. All right, there would be peace in the earth. So, this whole Balfour Declaration, 1948, airplane ride home back to the Holy Land. That's not in the scriptures. So, they out there, giving these folks hell. Which the hell with them, that's Ishmael anyway. Ishmael has been a thorn in our side too. So, the hell with them too. But, it's just funny how they're claiming these people to be the Amalekites when it's really them. Really this is them. But they saying that, these are the Amalekites. And if they doing that to them, what you think they gonna do to any and everybody else? That's not. They already refer to us all as Goyim, all right, which is Yiddish for cattle. Basically we're not human, we're slaves. So this is just the beginning of more sinister works that's going to take place in the earth. And I did a video a while ago talking about how this third war has to happen. They need it to happen because according to the letter from Albert Pike, the Third World War would involve the Muslim world and the what they call it, Judaism. It would involve those two worlds, and they actually showed this on a magazine cover back in 2012. The same thing. So, it's all revelation of the method. It's all an enchantment. It's all sorcery and witchcraft. The fact that these people are saying that they're the children of they're the Jews. That's witchcraft, man. That's witchcraft, and yet the whole world ain't even thinking about biblical nationalities when these people right here are sitting in the Holy Land claiming to be a people of a biblical descent, nationality, and yet everybody else is okay to walk around the world and think that they something else other than what the Bible say that people are. And yet people say that the Bible is a fairy tale book. It's not real, but yet these people are literally killing men, women, children, babies, and justifying it with scriptures in the Bible and claiming it is their holy book and they're claiming a biblical nationality. But I digress from that. So let's continue on. Let's read a little bit more of this. Joshua Shaines, a professor of Jewish studies at the College of Charleston, explained that the biblical animosity toward the Amalekites stems from what is described as the merciless ambush that launched against vulnerable Israelites making their way to the Promised Land. The attack leads God to tell Moses to wipe. And Ishmael, it's funny how because there has been like a doctrine out there that Ishmael the Arabs are Esau. Which this kind of plays into that because Amalek again comes from Esau, so it's funny that they calling the Arabs, the Ishmaelites, they're calling them the Palestinians, they calling them Amalek. It says hundreds of years later, Saul nearly fulfills the command by killing all Amalek men, women, and children, but he spares their king, who keeps his people barely alive by having a child. Many more generations later, one of his descendants, the villain Haman, goes on to develop a plot to kill all the Jews living in exile under a Persian ruler. The lesson, when read literally, is clear. Saul's failure to kill every Amalekite posed an existential threat to the Jewish people. Okay, so I guess they saying that Rabbi Jill Jacobs said that rabbis generally agree that Amalek no longer exists and that references to it do not provide a justification for attacking anyone. But we believe that the Amalekites are still here because even though you have the nation of Esau, you still got, again, various tribes. In Numbers 24 and 20, it says, "And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever." Because the prophecy of Esau, Edom, is that he's going to be for stubble. After he go into captivity for 1,000 years, we're going to get his ass off the earth, every last one of them. It ain't going to be no preserving one of them, and then they continue to live through that one that we spare, like in the past. All right, so when you go here and it says the first, which is Ra'ashiath in the Hebrew, the first, the beginning, the best, the chief. All right, when you look at the Amalekites, the so-called Jewish people, these are pretty much the first, the chief of all so-called white people. They got all the power, all the money. They pretty much got it all, man. You know, they doing their damn thing in the earth. You can't say nothing about them. You can't. You got to talk in code when you talking about them. Little hat, small hat. You got to use all these codes. You know, people can't say nothing about them, or they coming to get you. You know, they gonna shame you. You anti-Semitic. You gonna lose your job, lose endorsements. All right, because they have the best. All right, they've been blessed. So, you know, this is why we say that these are the Amalekites. Because you look at the Palestinians, they don't fit that. They got a little bitty ass piece of land within the Holy Land that they ain't even got that no more. So, we're gonna go ahead and close that, man. I just wanted to talk about this nigga Netanyahu. Let's get one more scripture, because I be hearing, what's his name, call for an uprising. He had to do these other channels because he keep getting shadow banned and shit. And he always quoting this, and he always talking about them with it. This is Revelation 2 and 9. "I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan." And he always using that to basically talk about the Jewish people. Which today we can say that to them, but in the true context of this verse, it was talking about, you know, the actual Jews, you know, actual descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that were the circumcision. Okay, because, you know, a lot of them were you know, pretty much giving the Gentile Israelites hell. You know what I'm saying? You know, and a lot of them in the circumcision, those that grew up with the customs and, you know, followed and kept the commandments, and, you know, they was being wicked. You know what I'm saying? They was acting like they was better than the Gentiles and, you know, just giving them hell. So, you know, that's what that's talking about. That ain't talking about, you know, people proclaiming to be Jews that are really not, which we can use that for today, because literally today we got people in the Holy Land, you know, acting like they us, and they ain't. Here it is. This nigga is quoting the Old Testament, and in the Old Testament, it's a law on putting homos to the, you know, to the sending them to the spirit world, and he ain't executing that. They got something out there called what? Pink City. I want to say Pink City in Israel. The Pink City. What's this? Tel Aviv, the Pink City. The International Gay and Lesbian Travel Association will, for the first time ever, had its annual symposium in Tel Aviv this October. The event is expected to attract some 200 travel agents that specialize in the G and L alphabet market. On Wednesday, also for the first time, representatives of Israel's G and L community took part in the International Tourism Fair in Berlin. See? So, look at this. Most of the IGLTA members are travel agencies that cater to the G and L community around the world and hotel. So these people are safe here, man. They safe out there. So how we gonna take some of it? See, that was the scripture. That's why we brought out that Psalms 50. Why bother reciting my decrees when you casting it behind you? But this is all being fulfilled because we talked about Amalek, giving Israel hell when we were going to the Holy Land, right? But what was happening in the Holy Land on our way? You had Canaanites that were in the Holy Land, right? That were committing iniquity. So let's go there real quick. I can't remember. They go on to Leviticus 18:27. For all these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, and the land is defiled. Talking about because those laws were given us, because these are acts that were being committed in the Holy Land by the previous inhabitants. So I'm saying these are what the people are doing there now. So don't do these things because the Lord about to get them out their land. Let's go to I know what I want is probably in Wisdom of Solomon. I don't know exactly where it is. So for the sake of time, I'm going to get one more. The sin of the Amorites. Okay, Genesis 15:16. But in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, talking about us, after we would go into captivity in Egypt. For the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. So the people that were in the land, they also known as the Amorites, they were committing iniquity, some of the same shit that's going on in the land of Israel today. All type of wickedness and madness. Okay, and it's going to get to a certain point once that iniquity hits its measure and sin hits its measure all throughout the earth and everything, everything's for an appointed time. So once the appointed time is met, the Lord is going to go ahead and, he's going to get us back there. He's going to get them out of there and he's going to put us back in there. All right. So it's funny how it was the Hamites there first, but it was the Amalekites who gave us issues when we first came out of captivity. And now we about to go back to the Holy Land, and now it's the Amalekites who in the Holy Land. So, and I pray it was an edifying lesson. I know it was kind of long, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and close that. Man, I pray it was edifying again once more, giving our praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Shalom.